everybody. Welcome to the ECSI Closing Bell, Thursday, June 9th, 2022. And thanks for asking how my day is going right now. Let me just tell you how my day is going. Some of you already know, but I am going to give you the play-by-play. I hope I can still bring it up. No, and of course I can't. Well, let me just refresh your memories. The VIPs know exactly what I'm talking about. White Sox plus 103 first five, up 4-0 in the top. They scored 4 in the fourth. Top of the fifth, guy on, 2 outs, error, and then the 3-ring circus. It was double, infield hit, wild pitch, and miraculously the Dodgers scored 6 runs. I repeat, 6 runs. Now, I'd like to know what Tony La Russa was doing during this fiasco because he let Cease hang out there to dry. The mentality is it's hard enough to get a major league team out in 3 outs. When you give them 4 and 5 outs, forget about it. Never mind a team like the Dodgers. You're allowing the middle and the bottom of the order now to get back up to Mookie, to Freeman, to Turner, to Muncy, yada, yada, yada. And how the ECSI VIPs have gone this week, let me just tell you, we lost 1 game, the only game we played on Monday, due to an error. On Tuesday, we lost 2 games due to wild pitches. And now today, we got a first 5 up 4-0 with Dylan Cease, who had given up 2 hits the whole damn game. And the White Sox were nice to just give us 1 run in the bottom of the 5th. And, of course, we lose that 6-5. And here, I'll add comedy to comedy. Giants, bottom of the 1st, leadoff triple, and don't score. And then they took a 2-0 lead, and they just gave 1 back. So there's no crying in baseball, but there can be some bitching, yelling, screaming, and hollering. And there's a little of that going on, some frustration. But as you know, what we do is we turn the page and we move ahead and we turn a negative, hopefully, into a positive. But some people just don't get that, and we had to address that as well. So without further ado, let's bring him in, the one and only Mr. Scott E. Webb. Afternoon, Scott.
Man, they play 162 games in baseball, and sometimes it feels like they play 800 in one day.
Scott, it's funny because we remember these. We'll be talking about this inning now for 3 weeks. I know they're supposed to even up. I get that part of the story. But when they're piling on and adding to it in 1 week, I won't talk about the 2 games that we had run lines, full games, -1.5, and they win by 1, And again, today, as this circus is going on, at least the San Fran Giants get a leadoff triple. I'm like, all right, well, at least they'll get on the board. You can just put the ball in play anywhere, and you're going to score that run. And they managed not to do that, so that was comical. It's just one of those weeks, and it's a part of baseball. And it always seems to happen around June, I like to say, because it's the dog days of summer coming once the All-Star break hits. And we understand what the mentality is to most people in these lanes. They're ready to wave the white flag. They're ready to say, hey, the wife wants me to take a break. Hey, football's just 6 weeks away. Hey, I got the cabin at the ocean. The kids are on vacation. Take a break.
Yeah. I think it's fair warning, and I don't even know if it's the right way to say it. I've talked about it. You've talked about it. That baseball is not for everybody, and it's because of games like that. It is what it is. You sit there and I say the same thing about the NBA. The NBA drives me crazy because one team will score 20 points and go out and be ahead by 15, and then you're like, oh, this is pretty good, and then the other team comes back, scores 22, and beats them. It's like, how the hell does that happen? So anyway, all of that stuff being said, everything going on in that game with the White Sox, Justin Turner was the first batter of the inning, and he struck out. So there was 1 out. The next guy gets up, Bellinger singles, and then Lux gets a walk. So they got first and second with one out. And then there's a ground ball that's hit to the third baseman. And that should have been an out. But what he did, he made a fielding error, and they called it a fielder's choice. Okay, so that's fine. But he would have been out. So theoretically, that's 2 outs and 2 guys on, and the next guy strikes out, Jeff. That should have been the inning. So they should have scored inning. And if you look at how many earned runs he's been charged with today, the answer to that question is 0. He gave up 5 runs, 0 earned runs. And that's because everything after that strikeout, after the ground ball, doesn't count as a earned run. So whether they got hits and doubles and home runs and triple and whatever they got to score the 5 runs, I get it. But the truth is 0 earned runs. Now, that's why they go with an earned run average and all that stuff. And an ERA is a qualification of what a pitcher can do. It's not the qualification of what a pitcher is, but it's a way to look at it. And that's also why when you look at wins and losses for pitchers, you sit here and go, he pitched great. I mean, seriously, that exactly what we said at the beginning this morning. Cease was on fire. He was doing great. They had a 4-run lead, no problems. And then, my thought is La Russa's got to go. I said that before they got rid of the guy in Philadelphia, before they got rid of the guy in Anaheim. He's the one that's holding back this team. Anyway, all that being said, we'll see how it all turns out. I'm on the full game in this one, and it was 1 run, but Dodgers scored again. So it's 7-5 now. So there's no guarantees of any of this stuff. Not guaranteeing that they're going to win, and not guaranteeing that the White Sox will score anymore. So it is what it is.
After that further fielder's choice and that strikeout, which you said should have been the inning, then the error, and then the actual error, and then it was compounded after that.
Well, then you got double by Freddie Freeman, a single by Trey Turner, Max Muncy doubles, Will Smith walks, Justin Turner walks, a wild pitch that scored a run, and then Cody Bellinger striked out at the end.
So that wild pitch got the 6th run, which actually would have if it was even 5-4, I would have got the 5-5 tie because they scratched one across.
Yeah, the wild pitch, Max Foster Muncy scores, and then made it 6-4.
Yeah. So this week, 4 losses, 1 on an error, 3 now on wild pitches. Now losses are graded as losses. That actually would have been 2 pushes and a win. And now I look at the Giants, who are up 2-0, now 2-2. Inning starts with an error, the 2nd error of the Giants. Again, we're not even into late July and August, and it's the bad news Bears all of a sudden coming around here. So, which was another 2-0 cruising, and now 2-2, and, probably all hell to break loose. But, and here comes the Phillies, who are, 5-0 since Joe left the building, and now up 3-1, top of the 6th with Burns. Dodgers now 10-5.
3-run homer, Max Muncy.
So
hey, at least the offenses are coming around. And we got what else? We got that San Francisco game. Logan Webb is Logan Webb's been pitching pretty well in that game, and then all of a sudden you got a fielding error, a single, and then an official score rule pending on whatever Ryan McMahon did, and then another single, and now it's 2-2, bases loaded, nobody out. So Colorado's getting ready to take the lead.
I started
But that's baseball.
I started to say before the internet went, we get the next day lines now. So we start working on tomorrow's card while everyone's watching today's games. And then we look at the overnights. Then we look at what happens overnight to the morning. We have a breakfast bankroll. We give out information in the afternoon and evening. And even then, the old right side, wrong results. And then people will just judge you for wins and losses. They don't look at the games. They don't watch the games. They don't understand what happens in one inning. Go back to Monday. That pass ball that got guys from first to second and third, single scores 2 runs instead of 1 run, and the 3-1 final there, instead it was 3-2. So enough of me bitching, yelling, screaming. It's a shorter menu as we speak, Scott. We can get into the night slate here. I don't want to bore anyone with any more vent sessions as it is. And there you go.
So just out of curiosity, I mean, I wasn't on the game, but we talked about it, the Cincinnati Reds and Malley, and that, I didn't think the value was good because, he's overrated. He had a pretty good game, but here's the top of the ninth for Arizona. Tony Santillan came in to close out the game for the Reds, and you have a walk. A wild pitch gets the guy to second base, a base hit. Now it's 3-2 Reds. And then a fielder's choice, but there's an error on the throw. So now you got 2 guys on, a sacrifice bunch, so another on second, third, and a single scores on both. And Arizona goes on to win the game. So it's one of those days in Major League Baseball where no lead is safe, and everybody is going crazy today, and it is what it is. So that being said, we've gone all the way up through and on these games, and I think the next one that we needed to talk about was Washington and Miami. And what I wanted to do, and I don't like to do this because I'm not a big proponent or a big fan of betting on guys that are hurt. Now, what I will tell you is that I am a fan of betting on guys who haven't pitched yet. So that's different. So what I mean by this is a guy that'll start and he'll go, I don't know, say he makes 6 starts, and then he misses 4 or 5 in the middle because he got hurt, and then he goes on the disabled list, and he comes back. That's when I like to go against that guy because I don't think he's ready to go. And most often you're going to find that guys struggle the first couple of starts after. It takes them usually 2-3 starts to get going. This is not the case today. Today you have Strasburg making his first start. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to look at his minor league rehab starts, because my thought was I wanted to see where he was at in terms of how many innings he had pitched. And he made 3 rehab starts, Jeff, 2 of them in single A. And in those single A starts, he only pitched 7 2/3 innings, and he gave up 3 hits. He gave up 3 hits and 3 runs. He had 5 walks and 9 strikeouts, which is not very good in single A for a guy like Strasburg. So then they bumped him to triple A and said, hey, if you're good to go, then we're going to bring you up. So his AAA start was 6 innings. He gave up 1 hit, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts. He was pretty good, and pitching 6 innings is pretty good. So I kind of get the idea that Strasburg's ready to go. Now, I say all this because today they're playing Miami, and Miami's been a team. I don't want to call them disappointing at this point because it's hard to say a team that's going to be a best 500 a disappointment. But they're so full of talent on the mound and stuff, and they got a good kid going today, Trevor Rogers. Now he's had a struggle this whole season, and I don't like his matchup per se today against the Nationals. He's been struggling most of the season. And then when you look at what Strasburg's done in his career against Miami and at the time Florida, he's been phenomenal. And you're looking at a team here in Miami that is now minus, I think it's like -1, and I'm looking at the first 5 here. So I think that the number in the first 5 innings is it's minus 125, 135, 130. So you can get it at a lot of places. It's pretty good. I think Strasburg is the better pitcher today. That doesn't mean they're going to win, but I think he's the better pitcher today. And what I also think is that Rogers has struggled. So I don't see a whole big thing where he's got stuff that's going to save him. My thought is that this is a good spot to take the Washington Nationals in the first 5 innings with Strasburg. So I went ahead and played it that way, and I got plus 115 on my number, but it looks like you can get anywhere from 120 to 125. Just because when I'm looking at Rogers, he's got an xFIP 4.47. So that means number one, he's hittable. And then number two, when you look at his batting average against, it's 293. League average is right now 240. So 1.67 guys are getting on base per 9 innings, and that's because he's got a 4.0 walk rate. So he allows guys to get on base. He puts guys on base, and now you're going to get Strasburg, who's probably a good spot here. So I kind of like it, and I went ahead and played it. I don't know if you've got thoughts on that one, Jeff, but that's how I did it.
I'm a big Strasburg fan, especially when he is in form. I've made a lot of money off of him, especially in first fives. I'm also one of these guys that, and it's changed. Way back in the day, you never played, invested on anyone coming off the IL. You never came usually first starters, yada, yada, yada. Nowadays, they have a certain regimen where they're working on these guys in AAA, sometimes AA. They're rounding these guys into shape and form like they're doing a Strauss today. He should be ready, ramped up. Maybe he's on a 60 pitch count. I don't know. I don't have that information. But if it's the Strasburg of Strasburgs, again, Marlins are hitting. Since that closed door meeting on Monday, they are all of a sudden hitting. Rogers has been bad. So the plus money there is, I see exactly what you're saying. Obviously, edge Strasburg, if it is the Strasburg that we know of, unless Rogers all of a sudden clicks into last year's form, which we haven't seen yet.
Yeah, I just didn't know if you had the same kind of feel for it I did. Sometimes people don't see things that way, but Strasburg's been really good against Miami too. So, I mean, his last five starts against Miami. Now you got to remember, Strasburg has been in and out and all of that stuff of the lineup. Where is it? Here it is. And he has thrown he's thrown 5 games in his last 5 times, 37.1 innings, allowed 16 hits, 4 runs, 49 strikeouts. His earned run average is 0.96. His game score average is 78 in those 5 games. 78. Oh my God. So if Strasburg is any good today, I think that in the first 5 innings, he can limit the number of he can limit things. So I liked it. Anyway, so moving on. The next game is that Oakland and Cleveland game. And here we have Caprillion, who has been really, really bad. He just has not been good. Now, of course, he's another one of those guys that came off the injured list, had a late start, but has not been good. He's game score 42. He has the highest xFIP Sierra number on the board today, 5.47, 5.32. His strikeout rate's only 4.6, so he's got to rely on his defense a lot. Batting average against 258. So, and the one thing he doesn't do is he doesn't put guys on base. But what my thoughts are here is that there's no reason to support a guy who consistently can't pitch. So I don't even know why he's out there, other than maybe Oakland doesn't have enough guys to bring up to take his spot. Pilkington is an interesting guy. He's made 3 starts, and the most that he's pitched is 5 innings, and that was his last start. And his last start was his best start. So I'm not saying that he's going to pitch his best start again. His game score is 48. So he's a below average pitcher. His strikeout rate is only 4. His walk rate is 6. So that means he's walking more guys than he's striking out. That's not a good formula to win games. So I'm not gonna go there. His batting average against is over 300. He's got a 2.18 guys on per base per inning. So I don't like that either. So I don't think there's any reason to get involved in that game. So I'm not playing that one. One that I kind of like, and this is Brubaker and Fried. I got a strong lean here, and this is with Fried with Atlanta. You got to play him on the run line, and when I looked at it earlier, it was minus 125 or 128 or something. Let's see what it is now. The Braves they're turning things around. They've won 5 or 6 in a row, and that's the first 5. I was like, oh, that's not what I want. I want game number. You're up to 135, so that would be the stretch. When I saw it earlier, it was 125, and I didn't mind the 125. I don't really like. What I don't like to do, Jeff, is I don't like to play run lines at the big, and I don't call them big numbers. Minus 135 is nothing. 150 is if you're in a boxing match, that's nothing. But the point of it is that we're not doing those sports. We're doing a different sport here, and every day you got to try to cover these numbers. And 135 is a number that I would save back for a money line number, not a run line number. So I think that this is probably a pass. Even though I like Atlanta today, I like Atlanta to kind of keep Brubaker under his numbers. He's off a low game score though. I mean, Brubaker's off a game score 12. That tends to me he's going to pitch one of his better games. But even if he pitches his better game, his average is a 45. What's he going to do? Throw a 50? So if he throws a 50, the Braves could still score 4 runs. So I'm going to stay off of that one for that reason, and then that eliminates pretty much what I'm going to the rest of the games for me, because there's no way you can bet against Cole today. Bundy's off a game score 7. And you remember, Jeff, back when we first started and we said, hey, something's wrong with Bundy. He's only throwing, 10 miles an hour and he's rolling the ball up there like a bowling ball. And then he goes out there and he throws a game score 67, 66, 63. That's what he did his first 3 starts. He went out and everybody goes, what the hell is going on with that guy? Well, since that time, let's go back and look at him. Since that time, he has thrown, where is it at? There it is. Bundy, boom. He's got a game score 34, a game score -1. And that's not easy to get to, a -1, but he did. And then he followed that up with a 52, a 58, a 42, and now a 7. So this is the real Bundy. You're getting a guy that is not real sharp. He's not real good. His numbers are atrocious. And he's not been good against the Yankees. Remember, he was an Oriole for a while, so they've hit him. They've seen him. And, all these guys flying around all these other places. This is not like he hasn't pitched and seen the New York Yankees before. So this is all Garrett Cole, all you want. You just take whatever you can. But what I was surprised at is Garrett Cole -1.5 is -125, -130. So again, you got to figure out if that's where you want to go, because that's the same thing that Fried was, right? Now Fried's up to 140. So Fried's got a higher number on it than what Garrett Cole does. So that's a weird number for me. Lyles and Bubic. Bubic's terrible, and he had a good start the last time out, but he's got a 5.4 walk rate, a 5.44 strikeout rate. He's got a 5.24 Sierra number. He's got a 250 batting average against, 1.6 guys get on base per inning. But on the same time, Lyles isn't that good either. So, Baltimore is better than Kansas City at this point. And if you wanted to take Baltimore, it wouldn't surprise me. But now you're looking at this game, and I think that number Well, that number is Bubik minus 114. So if you wanted to play a little bit on Baltimore, that wouldn't surprise me. But it's a little flip of the coin type of game, so I don't want to be there. And then you got Pavetta and Otani tonight, and that's the best pitching matchup of the night. Pavetta's been really good. He's off a game score 80, Jeff, and Otani's off a game score 11, and the Angels can't hit and they can't win. And Boston has won 1-0, 2 in a row. So they're going to have to hit Otani. And that's not saying that they can't, but I think Otani gets his good game. He's got his good stuff tonight. And I think if anything, this might be the night that the Angels kind of find a way. Now, having said all that, I'm not going to step on this game and go and say, okay, there's no way you're going to get me to bet on a team that's lost 12 straight games. I'm just not going to do it because there's nothing to say they can't lose 13.
Haven't they lost 14?
Shit, I don't know. I'm just making up numbers.
They're 0-2 against the Red Sox. They came in with a 12-game losing streak.
Then they've lost. Where I'm looking it up right now. They have lost. Where are they? There they are. They've lost 14 straight games, Jeff. Mm-hmm. So, I'm going to leave it alone. I'm not. If you haven't won in 2 weeks, why do you think today's going to be the day? Just think about it from that level. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, that's it. That's all I got. I got not much. I guess I'm playing Strasburg tonight. That's it.
For me, after the beating that we're taking, I mean, we still got 5 innings to go in the Giant game. I'm holding out hope there to win the run line there. It was funny. They get the second guy on and they go to minus 160 in the in game and they can't do nothing with it. So if the bullpen, which is a big if with both of these two teams, if the Giants bullpen can hold on, there's still great opportunities here for the Giants to prevail and win by hopefully 2 or more there. But after losing the White Sox, and by the way, our buddy, our colleague, our co-host, Riley Maggs, who will be with us in the morning for the Breakfast Bankroll, is at the game, and then he just shook his head. He sent us a picture. La Russa, 1-2 count on Trey Turner. 1-2 count and intentionally walked him. So again, I think he was probably in between a nap. I like to tease and say when these managers are going bad, they're at the beer line somewhere. But in La Russa's case, he's probably in the corner sleeping. I don't know why they would have day games with him because it must interfere with his naps. I mean, it's done. It's over. You have a team with so much talent. You saw what happens when Joe left the building. Now, I'm not saying they're going to go win 5 in a row, but a breath of fresh air is what is needed. Mattingly cleared the air out in the locker room on Monday. Now they're winning. I talked about Madden. Madden goes. It hasn't happened to the Angels, but they've lost 2 1-0 games against the team that has now won 7 in a row with the Red Sox. So, yes, it does matter who's in front of you, who you're playing. But again, to just let it keep going is not good for your team, for your morale, and your fan base. So with that said, no thoughts on Washington, Miami. Obviously, I'm going to root for you in Strasburg. If you've been playing the Atlanta in the run line, we played them opening first game of the series, lost. We didn't come back with them when they put up almost 2 touchdowns. And yesterday, what was yesterday's final, Scotty?
I don't know. I can look real quick. I know they won 13-2 yesterday.
Yeah, and that was my fault there. Oakland, Cleveland, not a Caprillion guy, as we said. But again, if you didn't, this is just my take on it. If you didn't go to the well with Bieber, why are you going to go to the well with Pillington, who wasn't bad his last start either, if I remember correctly. Cole and Bundy, as you said, Minnesota won 8-1 yesterday. Did you have Minnesota yesterday? I thought the day before it looked like a Minnesota number, and then they win yesterday. I'm not going to get in front of that train. Baltimore and Kansas City, Lyles and Bubik. Again, I suck at unders and overs, guys, but this looks like an over to me. It's juiced under at 9.5. I think it gets to double digits. Boston, LA, again, overnight number Shotani minus 140. That was just like an overnight number of Syndergaard minus 135. We got the banana in the tailpipe there. We lost the first 5-1 nothing there. We're not going back to that well either. I wouldn't be shocked to see a great outing by Ohtani. I've been waiting for regression from Pavetta. We haven't seen it, but the Sox are rolling. They've won 7 in a row. The Angels have lost 14 in a row. So if they're going to give you plus money on the Red Sox, I don't have a problem with you taking it. But I do have a problem with you going to the window and taking the Angels. If and when the Angels finally win a game, take them the second game. After a long losing streak, once you finally break the streak, they usually win the second game as well. And it's the same as a winning streak. A long winning streak, a loss, bet against them the second game because they usually lose the second in a row. Hockey game tonight, I'll just say it this way, fellas. If you're holding a pre-flop Lightning minus 170, I think it was in the series, you can take the Rangers tonight at plus money. If the Rangers win, it kind of sort of offsets part of your pre-flop ticket. A lot of the ECSI VIPs have Lightning minus 105. We got that after game one. Again, if you want out, you can take the Rangers right now plus 150 in the series, or you can try to get cute and take the Rangers tonight. And if they lose, well, you're just sitting back hoping that Lightning winning game 6. Under over 5.5 juiced real big, 40-45 to the under. Vegas is telling us 3-2 Lightning. I am not going to come out and say what the final score is like I did 2 nights ago with the 4-1 at 14-1. That was a once in a lifetime. I had Biff's Almanac that day. Obviously, I don't have it today because we're currently 0-1 in the MLB and losing 3-2 in our other game. Closing thoughts, Scott.
Yeah, I think that we broke down these games and we broke them down the way they're supposed to be broke down, and they don't always flow because it's baseball. Shit happens. Pass balls, wild pitches. Somebody goes and tries to catch a foul ball, and some guy in the fans reaches out and punches him in the face or something. Anything happens in baseball. So don't beat yourself up for wins and losses. Obviously, enjoy the ride because that's part of why we do this, is to have fun every day. So ideally, be engaged in what's going on and have some fun, and look at things differently, right? So we broke down St. Louis and we broke down Tampa Bay today, and we talked about Miles Michaelis going to pitch pretty good, and we talked about McClanahan being one of the best pitchers in baseball. And what was the score? It's 2-1. And the only way they won the game was, Choi hit a 2-run home run. I think there was 5 hits in the whole game. And then they played pretty good baseball. So it wasn't like crazy. And in that game, there was a weird, Albert Pujols hit a double in that game that the ball didn't get past. I would say the ball went 30 feet past first base. It was a pop up that they chased down, and then they overran it and fell in, and it's a double. So anyway, a ball that should have been an out. What I'm trying to get at is understand your process, take pride in what you're doing, and the results will come. And days like today, or days that you sit there and you go, what the hell just happened there? Okay, well, you're not going to predict all that stuff. You can't sit. You're expecting the managers to make the right choices, and they don't. And you're expecting the players to play to their best ability, and they don't. And sometimes they wake up and they don't feel good. They're humans, right? I mean, their ankle hurts or their toe hurts, or something happened in their life and they're not thinking about the game or whatever. So, and then you got to sit here and go, okay, well, how do I kill time or do this or whatever? Look, football's coming. We'll be doing this stuff for football too. And I can't wait. I mean, stuff's a brewing, man, and this is what it's all about. And of course, root for my Lightning tonight.
I'm back. 1 second. I'm multitasking. I got to give a big shout out to our buddy Billy Hewlin, who's been with the ECSI family for a long, long time. He has seen it all. And when we talked for the very first time, I talked about the key to success is staying off the roller coaster. It's great to go 11-1 one week, and it's great to go 18-2 in 2.5 weeks, but you have to understand that there is regression, like pitchers that we're talking about. So a good marketing company, has the duck boats and parades. Hey, we're 18-2 the last 20. Come on board. And you see all these public guys at the DJs running. Oh my God, this guy's hotter than a firecracker. OMG. Guys, the time to get in was probably 2 weeks prior when he was grinding out +1 unit, -2 units. Then he went on the heater. You don't jump on a heater in between. Okay. So the fact of the matter is Billy has been with us 2.5 years. We've had some good days. We've had some bad days. We've had some great months. We've had some bad months. It's part of this business, but he has realized what it takes to turn this from entertainment into the grind, into the marathon approach. And I'm so glad to see. I wish I had a recording of our first phone conversation to where we are today, and just to see the progress. And that's what I love about our Discord channel. For the people that want to add to it, is there is progress. I don't know if he's listening right now. I called him out a couple days ago. DMAC is a guy that's been with us for a couple months now. He's asking me questions that seasoned veterans for 3, 4, 5 years are asking. He's talking about hedge possibilities. Hey, I got +165 on one side. I can get +150 on the other. It's free money, isn't it? Damn straight. You always take the free bingo square when possible. You can always come back in on either side. So that's what we're talking about. And again, we're trying to provide as much content as possible. We're trying to educate as much as possible. We're going to be here today, tomorrow, next week, next month, through 2022, 23, 24. I'm 55. I'll be 56 this year. I still got a few, fastballs left in the chamber. I can do this till I'm 75, 80 in a rocking chair if I have to, until someone's ready to take the torch. But, I've got a long, long way to go. So without you guys, there is no ECSI. And the more you talk, the more it helps us, because we might not be hitting on stuff that you really have the questions for. And that's the hardest part. I don't have ESP and I don't watch ESPN, guys. Okay. So please ask away. With that, if you are wagering or investing tonight, do it responsibly. If you have that problem, pick up the phone. There's an 800 number available. Why? Myself and Scotty care. You do understand that. And yes, we will be here today, tomorrow, next week, next month, through 2022 and beyond. From myself, Jeff Dawson at EC Sports Invest, from the one and only Scotty Webb at Webby20 MLB, we wish everyone a blessed day. Have fun. Cash a few tickets. Hey, listen, if you're on the wrong end of a couple games today, that doesn't mean you got to go fire in tonight. Short menu. Maybe put a Netflix movie on. Maybe watch the hockey game without any action. Maybe get ready for some college baseball. The Super Regionals, UConn Huskies at Stanford, +250. We'll talk about that tomorrow. Have a day, guys, and we'll see you tomorrow morning around 10:30. Riley will be our co-host as we talk to him at the Windy City. He is sitting in that fiasco right now. 10-5 Dodgers against White Sox. We'll ask him about that miraculous fifth inning for the Dodgers. And then at 2:30, Dan Alexander, Premier Lacrosse, his weekly visit. We cashed a few tickets last weekend, and we plan to cash a few this weekend. See you in the morning.